Welcome to a new video. I hope you're doing all dope. Please consider to subscribe to my YouTube channel first and smash the like button. That helps to beat the algorithm. And now let's get started with today's video. Today's video has three topics. First, we're going to check out the IPFS gateways and links. I'm going to explain you really quickly what's all about this stuff. And then we're going to have a look at all the community sites which you can use as well. And last but not least, we're going to have a quick look what is the HEX-Server and how to use it, that you can run your own hodl.dog frontend to stake your hex locally without even need a website on the internet. So with that said, let's get started right into it. If you go to go.hex.com, you can see there is a recent change. It looks a little bit different than before. We have a lot of information to digest. So let's start on top. We have now a clear banner which says decentralization, robustness and privacy are core principles of real blockchains. So keep in mind, this is maybe a little bit more work on your side, but you're in total control with everything you do. You don't need anybody to run the Hex smart contract. You can stake your Hex, you can unstake your Hex without a middleman, and that's what it's all about. We're going direction peer-to-peer, and we do not have to trust so many intermediate parties. As you can see, go.hex.com is a list of links to ways you can run your Hex code. With the Hex code, we talk about the old go.hex.com frontend, which we will see in a second again. So the first part of this video is we're going to talk about the IPFS. We can see some random information here. We have a hash value in here, which is the hash value of the Hex server or the Hex frontend, whatever you want to call it. And you can see we see some gateways spotted with the said hash. So first of all, if you click on one of these links, you might be surprised it's not working at all. So for that, we have to quickly make a deep dive into IPFS. I can explain you this the easiest way. On the left side, we have the client server model, like the traditional legacy model, how you access a web server. So you're one of these orange clients in here, and you access a web server where you, for example, see hex.com, or in the past you saw go.hex.com where you could stake your hex. The IPFS peer-to-peer model is, like the name says it already, peer-to-peer, and it's not a client-server type of communication. Similar like in blockchains, you have a distributed ledger, everywhere is a copy. So here's a little bit the same. You have distributed your content, for example, for a website or just a picture, on multiple nodes which are floating around there in the internet, which basically then provide you the data. And it's not just one server which hosts all the data, it's distributed, and this is where we want to go. Decentralization, peer-to-peer, and this gives you even more robustness if you have a decentralized frontend. In case you're interested in more information, I'm gonna link you down in the description a practical explainer for IPFS gateways and how to use them. So in case you're wondering how to use the IPFS links down here, for example, the Chrome browser helps you very well to open these websites. Also, the Tor browser is a wonderful browser to use IPFS links. In case you're wondering how do you open this IPFS link, when you click on it and you just see a random site which is not like a normal website, I'm gonna got you covered down in the links below. I'm gonna have you the IPFS link for the normal web browser. For example, it works also in Chrome. For example, I find the same hash, like this is like the unique hash. You're gonna find it down here. You can find it in the link down in the description, and then you will see already the native frontend. You can even check for updates of the site, which refers you back to the native go.hex.com website. If I go a step back, you can see again the site will load. We're going to connect it in a second. We have multiple options and everything looks still the same. But let's go back to go.hex.com to see the other options we have. If this IPFS section was a little bit too complicated for you, no worries, go.hex.com got you covered. Or better, the community got you covered. We have a lot of community built sites where you can natively stake, unstake your hex. You can send your hex, and these are floating around the Hex ecosystem since a while. So for example, we're gonna have a quick look at GoPulse, Icosa, AppHex.win and Backup Hex and Hex Crypto. The Hex chart you can check out yourself. If you really have no other option, you can run the Hex smart contract directly through Etherscan, but I think this is a topic for the next video. Back to GoPulse.com, you can see on the topic Hex, we can connect our MetaMask wallet straight. So let's do that real quick. If I connect to my MetaMask wallet, I have different options. Let's choose MetaMask. The MetaMask wallets open up. You can click next, and we're going to connect the main account. So first of all, you see already how many HEX you have staked. You see the stakes down here. If you would like to create a new stake, simply by clicking here the plus stake button, and you can choose the amount of HEX you would like to stake and the period of days you would like to lock in your HEX. It's always these two things you need to enter somewhere: the amount of HEX and the days of the stake, how long it should run. As well, you can switch in between the Ethereum and the Pulse chain network by just clicking the little button up here. And you have, as always, the stakes. You can end them. You can even mint your free Hedron, which is neat. So you have everything in one place. The next website would be the Icosa website, the app.icosa.pro. Here you can do also the same thing. First, we're going to connect our MetaMask wallet. MetaMask opens up. We're going to connect real quick. Just wait a little bit, and boom, voila, you have already your 4 stakes right in here. And you can do the same thing in here. You can mint your free Hedron, and you can emergency end stake, which I'm not suggesting to do so. You just wait until the stake is finished, and you can end your stake then. Let's move on to the next front end we have is AppHex.win. AppHex.win offers you the integration for Ledger Nano S, the hardware wallet, as well for the Trezor hardware wallet. And of course, we have some neat charts which we know from the past. We have first the Hex chart. Now we have some nice add-ons of the Pulse chain, and we can see as well some Pulse chain dedicated charts. All this got you covered by AppHex.win. Link in the description if you want to work with a Ledger Nano S or a hardware wallet from Trezor. The next one would be BackupHex.win. This is a front end which is available since like forever, since the start. As well, here you can connect your MetaMask wallet. You're just gonna click connect address. Once connected, you can zoom out a little bit, and you wanna see all your information about your stakes. For example, I have staked 4,000 HEX. 4 stakes are running. If we scroll further down, you can also see the global daily payout per T-share, which is a familiar chart. The account daily payout, you can see it's going slightly up here. Every day I get a little bit more HEX for my stakes. And you have here also the chart down here, which you can see how big the stakes are, how much the interest is, how much the principal is. So a really neat site, backuphex.com. The next site would be hexcrypto.com, which is coming from Hex Toys. As well, you can choose here between the Ethereum, the Pulse chain mainnet, and as well the Pulse chain testnet. All you're going to do is connect your wallet. You have multiple options. We're going to choose the MetaMask wallet, and MetaMask will pop up. You're going to connect the account. Just wait a little bit, and if we, for example, go to stake, if you scroll further down, you can see the active stakes. You can do the same here. You can end the stake, or you can do the good accounting. That's basically the 2 functions you found on the original go.hex.com frontend. Here, for example, you cannot mint your Hedron. The last frontend I'm going to show you is the one which you're the most familiar with. I'm going to put you the link down in the description as well, so you have really a lot of options. You can see this is the frontend which we are familiar with. We can connect the MetaMask wallet as well. Click connect. Once you connect it, I suggest you to give a little refresh on the site so the data will be loaded, and after a few seconds you can see totally staked 4,000 HEX. If you go on the tab stake, we can see I have the 4 active running stakes. As usual, everything is the same. So as you can see, we have a lot of different options which you can choose from if you would like to interact with your HEX stakes. As I said, we have the IPFS hosted go.hex.com frontend. We have hexcrypto.com, the frontend from Hex Toys. We have the backuphex.com frontend, which is neat and around since years. We have as well the AppHex.win websites with some Pulse chain stats, with the Hex and Pulse chain stats, and the integration for your hardware wallet. And we have the Icosa Hedron ecosystem, which shows you exactly the same. On top of that, you can mint your free Hedron and buy more Hex, for example. And the newest one, gopulse.com, you can do the same. You can unstake, stake, and even mint your Hedron. So with that, we got covered the second part of the change of the website. You can see you have really a lot of options to choose from, nothing to worry about, and you're gonna stay in control. You have many different options, you have many different solutions, you have a decentralized solution, you have a centralized solution, and all these sites, or at least a bunch of them, will be running in the near future. And if everything goes wrong, you can still go further down on the website and just run the Hex frontend from your own computer and live if I zoom out a little bit, it's important that you're gonna read the instruction first. As always, read the damn manual. So if you click the instruction here, you will be forwarded to the GitLab page of the PulseChain ecosystem. You have a short explanation on how to use the HEX server. You can use the pre-built binary, or you're just gonna build it from a source yourself. So you can see we have the availability for Mac OS. We have 2 different versions for Windows, and we have 2 different versions for Linux. So all in all, we have quite a few options. Let me switch back to the website. You have here the direct download link to the GitLab of the desired version you need. So let's try it out to run the go.hex.com frontend from our own computer. For this, I'm gonna choose Windows because I'm running it on a Windows machine. So once you downloaded the file, let's jump to the download folder where we can easily and quickly see that we downloaded the HEX-Server version 1.0.2. We're gonna extract the zip file real quick to our location here. You can see after a second we have the HEX-Server extracted. If we enter this folder, we can see we have only one file. It's called the HEX-Server exe file. So once you double click the HEX-Server exe file, 2 windows will open up. First, you will see a command line which tells you that your HEX-Server is starting, and you can access the HEX-Server with a URL down here. On top of that, you see also that your browser opened up a tab automatically, and not with a familiar domain like go.hex.com. The domain is 127.00.1 with the port 5555, which is basically the information which you see down here in the command line. And that's basically it. You're already running your HEX server. So let's try it out real quick. We're gonna connect a MetaMask wallet. Once your MetaMask wallet is connected, maybe you have to refresh the website quickly, but you see I have staked 4,000 HEX, what we saw before, and all my stakes are here. And if you would like to kill your HEX server, you're just gonna click the CLI version here. You're gonna hit Ctrl+C. If you refresh the site, you'll see it's no longer reachable. And if you would like to stake again your HEX, just double click the HEX server X again. The website starts up. You also get again the little command line file, and you're good to go. We have now the option locally switch in between the PulseChain Ethereum and the PulseChain testnet network. So by clicking Ethereum mainnet, MetaMask opens up. We're gonna just switch the network real quick. After the switch is done, we're gonna connect the MetaMask wallet as well to the Ethereum network. We're gonna reload the page because reloading is always good, and you will see in a few seconds we have all the active stakes. The 4 stakes, 1000 HEX staked for different times, are visible on Ethereum. And if we switch back to PulseChain, just have to confirm it real quick on the MetaMask wallet, let it load again, and after a few seconds you see your PulseChain stakes as well. So all in all, it's not that kind of a big deal to run your own HEX server. Same works for the macOS or Linux system if you want to run it on this one. And I'm gonna do some videos, of course, for our Mac users out there to how to run the HEX server. And maybe one last little message: if you go back to this view and whenever you start the HEX server exe, sometimes window can show you a blue little window that you should not run this software. You can just click on more info and run anyway. And this was the last part of this video, how to run the go.hex frontend on your own desktop. You see you have a lot of options. We have the options to access it through a decentralized network called IPFS. We have the options to use a bunch of different community sites, and last but not least, we have the option to run it locally. We just need an internet connection, a computer, even an old one will do it, and you can easily access the go.hex frontend, which puts you even more in charge. We don't need any middlemans anymore. We do not have to trust any websites, because basically you just run your own code to interact with the HEX smart contract. So that was a lot of information in one video, but I hope you learned something. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, hit the like button, and see you in the next one. Peace.